Let's see what this is. Ooh. Someone like that somewhere. Not me, but good DPS on it. Do. Oh, it's laggy with this freaking thing. Really hard to get out of the way of that with skipping frames sometimes. Let's continue here. You're gonna die sometimes anyway, really. Nothing you can help about that. And before we open up the chest, put on some MF armor here. Do 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 do. And nothing. No, it's not always worth it. Really, I don't even know if it works. I'm pretty sure it worked in Diablo too, so I'm gonna continue to try it. Seemed to work on other ones. Maybe it's just my imagination. These guys aren't too bad actually. With the way the 100 fists, knocks him back every time. Knocks him out of a lot of stuff. It's a very useful skill. I really like the salvo dashes for him. And you can like slow everyone, push them away from each other so you don't get hit by too many guys at the same time. Dash behind them. You want to sort of get them all in front of you, because you can get them in front of you, you can bash them all, and then they get stunned, and then really don't have to worry about them nearly as bad. Oh, you really got to worry about when there's a lot of guys though, because they will mess you up. And then right before the invulnerability wears out, so you get them in front of you, you can't do anything. Ooh, but you're gonna get messed up sometimes too, because guys are hard, man. It's Inferno. It's supposed to be hard. Oh, and I got caught in too many right in there. You see there's like 3 or 4 things all at the same time. Just one is okay, but that many at the same time, it's pretty much gonna kill almost anyone. I want to show some of the gear that I had, I guess. I don't have that high DPS items. I do have a little bit of survivability, but, about 700 resist. I only have like 25k HP though. So, biggest thing I have to worry about is getting burned pretty hard by, some of the burst. But I can handle pretty much a lot of stuff with a life steal, as long as you don't get bursted, is the biggest thing. So watch how many guys are fighting. Probably try to keep it under. Try to keep it around 4 at most, because you hit too many unlucky dodges and you never make it out of there alive. So I don't have any spirit regen, but so with this build, I only need the spirit generators to do most of the damage. But well, the swirling wind does a lot too. But the thing about it is, you only have to hit it once. It doesn't cost any spirit. Do 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 do. I really like this build. I really am opposed to a lot of the builds I've seen on YouTube with, 300k DPS, and you kill them so freaking quick, but your risk of dying is really high, and people who have low amount of gear or not that much money, it is basically impossible to do what the other people do. But, with this build, I don't really need nearly as much armor, magic resist, and especially my DPS is not that high. It's 9,000 right now. Now I had a little bit more before. I traded out my weapon actually for something with a little bit more. Uh, I take a lot of life on. Well, I don't take that much life on hit. A little bit of life on hit. A little bit of life on steel. You can get life on hit from rings, amulets, weapons, and can really plow through a lot of stuff with it. Personally, I think the reason healing a mantra of healing was nerfed was because actually it allowed you to not have to build any. It didn't allow you have to that you didn't have to build any life steal or life per hit or any of that crap, and it was just too good for low levels who didn't know what they were doing. They just can't figure out how to heal. They take healing, mantra healing, and or regeneration, and be on their merry way. And it quickly became a must-have situation for monks, or it seemed that way. But I think Blizzard knew that once people got out and about and started finding some of these builds that they already knew about, people find out that it's a lot easier than they think. Now, I've had much better luck with these clearing them, but personally, this video recording software plus just straight up not being used to it, and I'm really tired. Maybe I can post some better example later in the same. Probably won't change gear anytime soon. Trying to save up for something actually decent since I don't have insane stuff like a lot of people. But I feel like this build is way more fun to play than anything I've seen. I had way more fun playing it, and really, I don't. This build does pretty good solo, but it works way better, way better with a group. Well, mostly my brother, because he plays Sork, and you can really play keep away from the Sork with this build, because the Tsunami slows him really well, and that along with Blizzard, you can get people almost rooted before they even get to anybody, because it just works so well. Now, there's a few things you have to realize about how this build works in order to ever pull it off yourself. First of all, you need similar gear to what I have. You can have super high DPS, though it'll still work, but you're gonna run into certain problems. I really think about Diablo 3 is gonna take a lot of it's gonna take a lot of theory crafting from a lot of people, and I think the beauty of this game really is that the build that you choose should be catered to whatever gear that you have. So, you know, there's certain aspects of the build that you should have, like you should have area of effect, which I have off my crippling wave here, and it has a nice long range. I have like two semi makes me invincible for a little while spells. You got this more consistent AoE around you all the time. And then you got a dash on here, you have a dash on here, little crowd control on this one as well. And this one, slowing is underrated. I've barely seen many people use slows to their advantage, but you can slow a lot of guys and then dash them around and really mess them up with that slow. If you remember to weave it into your build. Probably as I get better practice here, or as I get more in the groove as I play, sort of see how it goes a little bit. See now the Uh, the swirling wind. God, it's probably not even named that, but these guys explode when they die. I must have got hit by them so many times. Anyway, the sweeping wind. God, I keep calling it swirling wind. The sweeping wind does that scales way better off of life steal, whereas the life on hit helps with Way of the Hundred Fists. So, and life on hit also scales with attack speed. So you got to think of a lot of the different ways that your stats actually help each other out. And if I just had lifesteal, I would get messed up against a lot of single target or very like only 2 or 3 guys, because then the lifesteal really doesn't do that much. 6% of 10k damage is, not enough to heal me through these guys. But the life on hit, on the other hand, is gonna really changes the power level against these, because you see how much faster I heal when I'm in a group. Oh, and I stood in the freaking death spot. I know that it happens, and yet I continue to do it. At least it sort of makes me laugh at myself. Anyway, continuing here. So most of this you can do pretty easy. This is one of my favorite runs so far. There's a few other good ones, but this one's the most fun, because you can get some. Alright, so here's. Yeah, you can get some purple mobs, and purple ones are, a lot easier than your typical blue pack of mobs. And, oh, see, this one's gonna be hard though, because you see, it has all these. You gotta kill them. Ooh, it's gonna get nasty real quick. I never tried this one pop up before, actually, but we'll see how we do here. So far, so good. Oh, one down. Oh, oh, oh. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. That was close there. But, you can see you can sort of dodge out and in and do some stuff. And I'm going to use my invincibility here to finish off the rest of it. And then we can... It turns into this thing. I've never seen that before. This is really weird. Oh my god. Alright, if those skeletons come in, it's going to be a problem. Drive, come back over here. I'll probably come by. Alright, so saw him. You can jump to the other side here before I get caught by another explosion. Alright, this is pretty tough here. Oh, and pulling me into the stuff with Tom, or probably maybe just crip me or something. Anyway, that hurt. Probably if I had a little bit more HP, a little bit more stats, this stuff would be way easier, a little less twitchy, and I think that's what Blizzard is probably aiming for. For people who are not quite good enough yet, you can always build armor and make this stuff easier on yourself. But for those of us who like a challenge, you can, even if you, those of us who like a challenge, you can build MF gear and give yourself a challenge, you know. That's a really cool part about Diablo. Alright, we have him almost all down here now. Soon we'll be able to fight the boss all on his own. Ooh, ho, ho, ho. And I stood in the stuff again, because I'm an idiot. But I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. It won't be long. He keeps healing up here or something, turning into a weird guy. Really never seen this one before. I'm really interested to see what happens if I can kill him here. I'll probably just end the video here, because really it's never see if we can kill him, and then, but typically you'd be able to continue past this. You might have to skip a few elite packs if they're like some really hard ones, because there's some obviously just just ridiculous stuff. Oh my god. Oh, just ridiculous stuff that you can come across, and you're not gonna be able to kill it. So, but There are some that you can definitely kill. And that, wow. And I stood in the crap again. I guess his flesh, when you kill that, it must explode and act like a separate guy himself. Now he's at half HP, so he's slowly getting down there. But if I keep dying, he's gonna heal. But I think now that I figured out what he's doing here, we'll uh, we'll kill him pretty easy. We'll finish him up. Hopefully he didn't heal to full. Yeah, we're still good for a little while here. See, the dash can be really nice, because that I don't have that much dex, so my dodge isn't that high, so I really take the blinding speed for to give me that 20% dodge for free. And you can see how much my life per hit is sort of healing on this single target here. That is not my life steal. That is some. Now, don't think it's the end all be all stat, because you can still stack bunch of other good stats. Uh, life regen is really nice to stack up, because if you stack up life regen, the only way I can heal is by going right up and smacking them in the face. And most of the time, if I have low HP or low spirit, it's really tough to do. But usually I just have to activate Serenity and then, go back in. And he didn't give me too much, but it's pretty fun. Remember him for later. Well, maybe I will continue on here. Seems to be going well enough for me. Especially a new boss. I'm kind of happy about that. That was pretty neat. But I am getting really tired. So we'll see if I run into any elite mobs that are too hard for me. If I do, I'm just gonna stop. But until then, I'll continue clearing here, and people see the build and check out and get an idea of what Monk is really about, I think. Because maybe I'm wrong and I just haven't been able to find the videos, but this is the first video or first build I've seen that works like this, and to me, this is the most fun thing I've ever played. I've played WoW forever, played Diablo 2, played, oh my god, so many. Desecrator, Molten, Frozen, Extra Health. Ooh, oh, that's pretty hard for me. The Molten, especially Molten, Frozen, Desecrator. They'll freeze you, desecrate under you, you're dead, and I don't have that much. I could probably spec for it and kill them, but that's too much time for a single pack, which is why it's just not worth it. It'll wind up costing 5,000 gold or something just to repair. So that's my current build, and maybe I'm gonna probably make a video explaining why it works, how it works, and how you can. My gear isn't that insane. You can buy it for pretty cheap, especially if you know what you're looking for. But I think the real thing is that people don't quite understand how diminishing returns works in this game, and really, if you build a well-rounded build, you will see you'll see yourself be more survivable, and than stacking one stat. See a lot of people stacking vitality, armor, whatever, and it's just unnecessary. I don't have that much armor, I don't have that much vitality, I don't have that much dex, but you know what, I have the dodge chance from here to make up for the lack of dex. I have, my resolve to reduce enemy damage 25%. I got the 15 dodge chance from Guardian's Path. This is pretty much necessary until you figure out how to deal with. Either you got to build expensive plus all resist, which is a pain in the ass to get rid of it, or you need to build way more armor, which is actually kind of cheaper. I'm considering doing that myself. So, way the 100 Fists is kind of great. It does a little knockback thing. The crippling wave slows everyone around and slows them from really far away. You could stand in place actually and hit people from pretty far away with it. The sweeping wind, like I said, it helps with the lifesteal and the big groups. I personally, when I run with other people, and sometimes even myself, the mantra conviction submission, it's like a sweeping wind that you really don't have to keep up all the time, which makes it really useful for people like me who don't have any spirit regen whatsoever. Keeping this up, and it's just straight up better in a group. Like you'll notice when your mage is on the guy, and then you use that, all of a sudden, man, it just blows them up. So the Serenity, and I get the extra second of it, because a second of invulnerability is just great. And same with the Blinding Flash, making it a little bit longer. And then the Dashing Strike. I mean, there's a few in here. I like Quicksilver too. Soaring Skull if you really need to help kite some stuff. And Way of the Fallen Star for bosses is really nice, because most of the time you have to dash in there and then run the hell away. And usually you can also use this like right before you're about to run away, and you're gonna have to use it a lot. Now there's a lot of other builds out there, but I really felt like this one was a super fun one, and it was a good one, and you didn't need a lot of gear for it, and it's big time skill based, and you can really move around and not really get touched very much with it. And I think people have a lot of fun playing it. It's super fun playing this build in my opinion. And this is hopefully my first YouTube video. Well, thank you very much.